At approximately 12:30 today, officers were dispatched to the 7600 block of Marbach for a fight. And while they were en route, an additional call, multiple calls came out for shots fired at the same location. And when officers arrived, there were in the upward of 150 people in this parking lot that's behind me that were running in different directions, just dispersing, making it very difficult for officers to understand what all was happening, although they did get information to confirm that a shooting did happen. There were two separate incidents. I'm going to address this one next. So there was a motorist. We don't know their involvement or even that they were involved in the fight that escalated to a shooting that was leaving this driveway that struck a pedestrian, an adult male, that was walking through the driveway that had no relation to the incident, at all. An adult male, he was struck by the vehicle. Officers made contact with him. He was transported to a local hospital for treatment, and his condition is unknown. When that driver is found, he will face charges of failure to stop and render aid. So it's very important that anyone that has information on the specifics of that specific incident to please call our homicide unit with details. Our traffic investigation detail is investigating that portion of this incident, but I want to make sure that that is also something that is brought up. Right now, as part of the shooting that took place, we have one, possibly two, but one definite victim with a gunshot wound who's being treated at a local hospital, and possibly, as I mentioned, a second victim. We believe this to be a very targeted situation. The fight escalated to a shooting. And at this time, as I mentioned, 100 people, 100 plus, 150 plus people, someone saw something. So we absolutely need anyone's assistance in getting any information to our homicide detectives. Even if it's the smallest amount, they can remain anonymous. We just need as much information as possible to help us determine what all happened here. We also cannot confirm, while there's a school that is behind or across the street from this location, that any of those individuals are affiliated to that school. Any questions that y'all may have, if those individuals were, we ask that you direct them to the appropriate school district for a response. As I mentioned, anybody that has information to please call 207-7635 with information.
Was the other person shot?
So let me back up, I'll talk. So officers at 12:30 were dispatched to a fight. As they were en route, multiple calls were received for shots fired. When they made the location, hundreds of people were leaving the parking lot behind me. We confirmed at that point that a shooting did happen. Once they were able to do that, officers started to look at adjacent, very nearby hospitals, triage centers for any potential victims. One was located. We know one to be related. There's possibly two victims that are related to this incident with gunshot wounds. There were also a number of vehicles, but we don't know their involvement. So anybody with information, it would be very helpful to us.
Does the restaurant have any surveillance video?
Any video that does exist would be part of the investigation and not releasable, but I do believe that that is the case, that there is video surveillance.
Do you have any teenagers? Are they young?
We don't know their age. We do know they're young adults, so it's very highly possible that that they could be teenagers.
And do you know if more than one individual shot a gun, or is it several individuals that shot at each other?
That's a great question. We don't know the specifics. We do believe that there may be more than one. There may be more than one shooter.
And the condition of the victim?
We don't know the condition of the victim other than they were transported and they're being treated. The condition of the person that was struck by the motorist that drove away, we don't know their condition either. They were transported as they should with the greatest of care to make sure that they were tended to and their treatment was seen to as immediately as possible.
Was he just passing by or coming out of the restaurant?
From what we know from the people that were able to kind of get information, he was able to speak to an officer. That doesn't mean that it wasn't a critical injury, but he was able to speak to officers and give them a very vague description of the vehicle that struck him, and he was just walking. He was walking. I can't tell you if he was on the sidewalk or actually in the parking lot.
Has anybody been arrested?
There have been no arrests. We've gotten some information that has led to some being detained and questioned, but there have been no arrests at this time.
We don't know what we're looking for right now this morning. Do you
have
As
this-
soon,
this-
yes, it's very important that y'all understand this is all preliminary. And as soon as we get information that gives us anything to share with our public, colors of cars, makes and models, potential suspect descriptors, we will make sure that we share them so that way we can try to bring some conclusion or some missing parts to this case. So that's what we have right now. Very preliminary. I appreciate you guys hanging out. But the more we get, we will make sure that we share.
Okay. Thank you very much. Spanish?
Not me. I will
Oh,
get
and her?
better. I will get better, but not today from her.
No. Oh, not today?
Not today.
Can you give me something to go to?
No. I wish. I would. It might stink. Thank you guys. Yes.